Greetings to you, Crocodile Army! A couple weeks ago, the idea of Oprah for president started getting floated in the news in a way that sounded like she was seriously considering a run, though she has since claimed she's not. After just a year of the Trump administration, I feel like I've seen enough political insanity to last 10 years, so nearly anyone would be an improvement, including Oprah. From a strictly policy perspective, I'm certain my views are a lot closer to hers than Trump's, but there is not a chance that I would vote for her in the Democratic primary. I think there's a desire among some people to fight fire with fire, and try to defeat a celebrity with no political experience with another celebrity with no political experience. Oprah's used to being in charge of her empire just like Trump is used to being in charge of his. While I doubt Oprah would think of herself as quite as much of a king or queen as Trump, I suspect that she would have some of the same difficulties. As a lifelong skeptic, her support of quackery bothers me too. She was a big factor in Dr. Oz's fame. For those of you who are blissfully unaware of who he is, he's a doctor who dispenses medical advice on his TV show, and was even in front of Congress trying to defend himself on accusations that he gets paid to promote things that are good for his advertisers' bottom lines, but not for the health of the people who would take his advice. She tends to believe some of the left-wing pseudoscience around GMOs being harmful, and seems to have endorsed many different fad diets over the years, though she seems to have been on the Weight Watchers payroll for many years now, which I suppose is somewhat more sane. She's undoubtedly a wealthy, successful woman, and that's great, but I would rather not go down the path of the presidency being a celebrity popularity contest. As one of my friends put it, it's becoming like a high school student government election, and I remember how ridiculous those were. I will not vote for Oprah or any candidate from 2016 in the primaries. GMOs are vital to the world's food supply. There are numerous variations in climate around the world, and in most of them there are people trying to grow some kind of plants for food. It's true that there are corporations that have more influence than they probably should, the most famous of course being Monsanto. Like any other corporation, though, their influence is only as good as their lobbying operation. If the political will ever exists to curb their power, then it will happen. Meanwhile, I wish people would stop bashing GMOs, as there's nothing magical that happens to genetically modified food when it hits your stomach. I hear some people claim a lot of things about how they feel when they eat something that contains GMOs, but I would love to see a big study where they have a test and see how that turns out. I suspect that it would all be exposed as nonsense. Unfortunately, many food companies are getting into the act and labeling foods as being non-GMO as a marketing tool, further influencing consumers into thinking GMOs are bad for you. Brawndo has what plants crave. The internet is an incredible source for accurate science, but unfortunately pseudoscience and other nonsense like flat earth, HIV not being the cause of AIDS, vaccines causing autism, fluoride being bad for you in typical doses, and lots more, are also spread very quickly. Celebrities often throw gasoline on these intellectual brush fires from both the right and the left. Conspiracy theories are always hovering around these discussions as well, and there's often overlap between this and pseudoscience. People who are not scientists will come up with sciencey sounding nonsense to try to discredit the actual science, or make up their own, like Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop website. Every major tragedy has conspiracy theories around it within minutes, like every recent mass shooting, with intellectual lightweights like Alex Jones leading the charge.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap. I'm sick of being social engineered. It's not funny!
Celebrities helped get us into this mess, and a celebrity is now nominally the leader of the free world. Celebrities can help us get out of this mess too, but I don't want a celebrity in charge anymore, no matter how well-meaning they are. I want an actual politician who knows how politics works. I know that's not what's in vogue right now, with both sides looking for a savior, but I would say that the bar I've set is a bit more reasonable. November is looking better for Democrats by the day, and remember that we've not held Congress and the presidency since 2010, when they got Obamacare passed, which, while of course imperfect, was a big step forward. Fortunately for us, though, we will slowly swing the pendulum back. We can go from dead to dominant in the blink of an eye.
Double, triple, quadruple kill. Round 2.